Loktar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is Dynamic Effort Bench Press Day, and I'm hoping that I can get through this with the line guys being quiet long enough for me to voice over, and if not, we'll figure something out. But yeah, a long workout, so it's a lot to cover here today. And yeah, my workouts are going to get longer and longer like this. Today was the third wave in my dynamic bench press, which is the heaviest day. And as you guys see, I'm actually moving it a little faster. I'm getting better at doing this speed work again. It's taken some getting used to, and of course, it'll probably be slightly easier this coming week when I switch over to chains for my next wave, because that's how we're doing it. We're doing 3-week waves of bands and then 3-week waves of chains, back and forth, so that I'm changing the form of accommodation. And again, for those curious, no, I'm not pausing. I'm using overspeed eccentrics to try to get a stronger stretch reflex. But people need to understand that this is different than what you see with a lot of guys where they're just straight benching it or straight bouncing it off their chest. It is different because I still have some control, and everything's staying tight and all of that. And actually, a lot of this is helping me get my setup better, because you guys notice I'm now ratcheting up tight enough that I just stand back up with what people will call my zombie bench or my vampire bench or zombie rise. People are giving it different names. Because I'm getting used to getting tight again now, because I need to do this speed work right. But yeah, I am trying to get more explosive with it, and it's going to take a little bit of time because I haven't been doing dynamic work in a long time, and I know that explosiveness will help me because I feel like I'm a little slow near the lockout of my bench, which is why I'm calling it a tricep weakness. It's not purely a tricep weakness. It's just indicative of the fact that I do need to get faster. It's indicative of the fact that I need more tricep probably just to help with my overall bench, including even getting more power out of the bottom. But we're fixing that. We're doing a lot of tricep work. I'm doing the speed bench, but I'm still pause benching every week. And that's something that needs to be discussed when people look at what I'm doing with this training and how you make a system like this work. If you're a raw lifter, I still do the conventional lifts heavy every week. But what we need to remember when it comes to the motor patterns of these things, in all honesty, your lighter work isn't as important for the motor patterns. People would say, well, why? Because light work is there for hypertrophy or for speed strength and things like that, right? You're doing different things with lighter work. The technique that you use on light weights, unless it interferes with your technique, like you're actually doing things that will hurt your form, your lighter work doesn't matter, because it's not like you're going to be able to use the exact same form. And people do need to understand that. You could practice something all day long at 50%, but until you start hitting 90% or higher, you're not going to see your real form breakdowns. So you need your real practice to be with your heavyweight. That's the most important practice you can get for any big exercise, if you want to get good at lifting really heavy with it. There is a skill to it. But that's why I go above 90% on all 3 of my big lifts throughout the week. And today, though, is again what I do towards the end of the week. Everything is just about size and thickness, and thickening everything up in the right places after doing the max effort work on max effort days, and then on the speed days after the dynamic work. But we bench first, and then I do all the accessory movements. And this is, again, bench specific day. I'm needing to specialize in my bench more, so all my back work goes on my squat and deadlift day. So basically everything that we do on this day directly carries over to just upper body and not lats. So I don't worry about lats at all. They're getting plenty of work on my deadlift day with the rowing and all the deadlifting. So today is all about bench pressing and bench accessories. So on this, though, we did 10 triples with red bands. And it's kind of funny when I get people who are like, why don't you put the weights on here? That's 2 plates, guys. A pair of blue plates. Blue plates are 45 pounds. If you don't know what 2 plates a side equals, I just don't know what to tell you. That's called 225 pounds. Plus, it's speed work. It's not meant to be heavy. I see why people would care on your heavy stuff, your max effort things, but it's dynamic work, guys. Come on. And this is all about speed and explosiveness. This is supposed to be light. It's supposed to be light, and it is light. But 10 sets of 3 on this. Again, compensatory acceleration using overspeed eccentrics, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be different. I'm going to have to switch to the chains, and I haven't done the chains in a long time either. So it's going to be kind of a novel training response, just rotating through those waves. So I'm looking forward to that because, again, I get that change of pace continually. Get that change of pace. And then after this, I went ahead and I did incline benching for my first accessory. And I'll be honest, man, the incline benching is tough. It's tough. But the difference is I'm using good form. I'm doing clean reps on it because it is being done basically as just a pure size exercise, right? I'm using it just to thicken up all my weak links, things that might hurt my bench press, because I'm doing all the tricep work and other stuff, but I need to make sure that my chest doesn't become a weakness in my bench. And I can honestly say I haven't even gotten stronger at this. This is my third workout doing it, but it feels like I'm just a little bit fatigued from the other stuff, and I'm not particularly good at incline right now because I haven't been doing it. It feels like by that third set, I start getting near the end and I'm like, oh, I'll be able to get a rep PR, right? That's what I'm thinking each time. And then it feels really, really heavy. And it feels like if I try another rep, I'm going to miss it. And hopefully that raking's not too loud. They're outside raking and I can hear it really loud coming through my door. I hope it's not coming through the mic. If it is, I apologize. Not much to be done about it. Either if we get the training footage or we don't. So I don't have any real choices because they're going to be out there all day. They're tending to do that a lot on Fridays right now, like literally 10 hours straight of yard work. So at least they don't have leaf blowers going right now, or chainsaws. They were cutting down a tree yesterday. But again, the incline, I will say though, in spite of the fact that I haven't seen progress on it in over a week, having started doing it, I'm at least feeling it, and I know it's working what I need it to work. My interior delts, my upper chest, all of that stuff is just throbbing when I get done with it. Like, I'm absolutely feeling it work. And I wish I'd get a little stronger at it, but that's just going to take time. Because the difference here is that I have the strength base that I have. And even though it's kind of a novel exercise again for me, I've been doing overhead pressing and flat benching. So the muscles are already kind of where they're at in terms of strength. I'm probably not going to see a large increase in neural efficiency on this exercise. The only way this exercise is going to increase is going to be through straight hypertrophy. And that's going to come slow because I'm at maintenance calories, right? I'm at maintenance calories doing a slow recomp, staying at the same body weight, and not blasting gear. As an advanced lifter, I'm just going to have to accept that it's going to take time. But it will get there, and I will keep utilizing it because I feel like it's going to be useful right now, and I need to get strong at it. I need to get strong at it because I'm not that strong at it right now, which tells me a lot about where my weaknesses lie. And that's what people need to remember when it comes to big exercises. What is it I've told you repeatedly? If you're weak at it, you probably have a muscular development issue that you need to fix on any big exercise. And the incline bench counts as a big exercise. It's not one of the big five, but it's a big exercise. So it means I've probably got some muscular weaknesses that need to be corrected. JM presses, though, went good. Now that I'm getting used to the extra pressing volume in between, remember I was struggling with them. They felt really tough. But today it went a lot better. I went ahead and added 2.5 pounds, so I'm up to 125 on these, and it felt easy. It wasn't bad. Now it started getting tougher as I did multiple sets, which is fine because we're building up fatigue. But the last couple workouts, even with just a 122.5, getting that last set was hard. Like, I almost felt like I wasn't going to get the 10th rep on the 5th set. Today, I got the first 4 sets easy enough. I mean, they were challenging. I felt the work being done. They were taxing, but they weren't quite at my limit. So I went ahead and managed to squeeze out, I think, 12 reps on the 5th set. So that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That means that, again, I'm getting stronger at this lift. And one of the things I've noticed on it is that if I keep a good tempo on it, I tend to do better on this lift. That sometimes if I pause too long at the top, I just seems like I get out of my groove and then it becomes harder. And I know some people say, well, Jason, you're not doing this exercise for performance. But you have to remember, I am a strength athlete, so I tend to think in those terms. But this is a smaller exercise, so I don't think it's going to hurt if I just maintain a solid tempo on it and I'm getting a good stretch reflex. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that I'm getting a little bit of a stretch reflex at the bottom, because I do feel that a bit in my triceps. When I get a good tempo going, I feel that extra pop out of the bottom, which is what I want. And I feel the plates jingle a little bit at the top if I do it that way. And that's what we want, because we do want the triceps to get more explosive, and they want them to get more explosive at pressing, and that's the whole idea. Because you need those triceps to push through and lock hard on the bench press. You need your triceps to be explosive. You need them to be able to drive through and follow through with the weight that you get started. So that's fine. That's good. And I mean, it counts at the bottom too. People need to remember that. There is this misconception that the tricep, or some people have a misconception, not everybody, that it's only really working the top. No, it's just that your chest works a little less at the top, but the weight should be getting easier. But your triceps do matter at the bottom also. So if you can get them a little more explosive, that's a good thing for that too, because it will help you get more drive out of the bottom, but then you need them to follow through also. So I'm happy with this. So this accessory is improving, and we should start seeing my benching itself getting easier over time. And remember, the other thing we're doing for improving the bench press at the bottom is the bicep work. Having thicker biceps will help with that, right? It will absolutely help with that. Up next, next accessory movement, side laterals. And I've covered a number of times what I'm doing with these and why, and for those who are new to these sessions, these are being done with one arm because it helps me get some extra oblique work. Two, again, I don't have to worry about staggering a foot forward or any of that nonsense. Because like I said, you got to watch that. You start demonstrating things like putting one foot in front of the other and using 2 kettlebells or 2 dumbbells for something like this to do them at the same time. And before long, Athlean-X fangirls are going to try to superset them with lunges or something, right? You know, and I am not a believer in one-legged exercises, by the way. I am not a fan. I don't believe there's even a benefit to sports, and that'll piss some people off. Like, oh, athletes jump with one leg. That is completely irrelevant to the topic. It actually, there's no data at all to suggest that one-legged exercises are even equal to bilateral exercises for improving sprint times or jumping. The data is actually quite the opposite. But that's another topic completely. So the point with these, it is getting a little bit of extra oblique training, and the fact is I don't have 2 kettlebells of matching weights. This is the heaviest one I have. So at a certain point, I'm just going to end up doing more and more reps with it, or I'm going to have to get a heavier kettlebell. All right? It's going to have to be one or the other. But for now, because it is more or less a fluff movement, and it is being done just for volume, it will be fine. If I just add reps over time, and this ends up turning into 5 sets of 20 one day, my delts will probably be considerably bigger and stronger if we get to that point. So honestly, I'm really not that worried about it. But again, doing them with one arm, it also gives me a little bit of extra oblique training, and it doesn't really take that much extra time. So it's fine, but that's why I'm doing them that way. And hopefully that they're not going to start that chainsaw up again outside. And they are. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to keep this workout rolling so that you guys can see the footage. You guys know what I'm doing with the strict curl. I'll just throw in some music and you guys can watch the rest of the laterals and the strict curl. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.